This story is interesting because it helps to answer a question that some people may have, particularly why do I tell these stories? Well, I do a lot of ghost hunting. People may assume that because I go ghost hunting, I have a lot of stories to tell, but that wouldn't be the origin of why I do this. You see, the reason why I go ghost hunting is because strange things have happened. I mean, I've gone ghost hunting and strange things have happened, but the reason I went ghost hunting in the first place is because strange things were happening. And ghost hunting was a way for me to help investigate that because there were things that I just couldn't explain. And they happened to certain people that were genuinely terrified about it that you would never expect them to believe in such stuff. One particular instance goes way back to the mid 90s where I was sleeping at my parents' house with my then wife and my oldest daughter. Now, I've mentioned before that my house and the woods around it have a reputation for very strange things happening. So I remember one night my ex-wife was terrified, and she's my ex-wife now. Um, she was terrified because she said there was a giant black figure in the corner of the room looking at her. And the way she described it, it was a Grim Reaper type figure that was about 7 to 8 foot tall in the corner looking down at her, though you couldn't tell any facial features or anything. And it had more of like a misty, formless type of form. And she was terrified about it. And I was like, okay, that's very strange. One night, this is a few years later, I was sleeping in that same room. That's now the computer room, and the door opened, and I saw a figure look in, and the door shut. So I said, "Man, I'm trying to get to sleep, but I don't know. I guess I'll get up. I guess my brother's out there." So I go out into the living room. I say, "Yeah," I'm like, "Yeah, what do you want?" My brother and my mom are just sitting there like, "I don't know what." I said, "Well, you came into the room," and they said, "We've been out here the whole time. We didn't come into the room." I was like, "You got to be kidding me." And they're like, "No." They said, "We haven't moved. We're sitting here watching TV." My mom was doing something. I think she might have been crocheting at the time, and you could tell that she was sitting there for a little while. My brother was just sitting around. You could tell by their demeanor that they were just sitting in the room, and I walked in, and I told them. Someone came to the door. I couldn't tell who it was because it was a black figure, and I figured it was black because the light from the hallway was shining behind it. And I was in a darkened room and glanced over, and okay, so it must be Kirk, my brother. And no. My brother just said, "You saw it, didn't you?" And I like, "Saw what?" Then my brother told me that he, in fact, saw that same black figure. And then it came back to me what my ex wife had seen in that room. My brother had seen the same thing around that room. It's a black figure about 7 to 8 foot tall. My ex wife's seen it, and she's not the kind of person to believe in those things, and she was genuinely terrified. This thing opened up the door and looked at me, and I thought it was another human. And when I explained that to my brother said, "Yes, that's the way it behaves. He's seen it around the house himself." So That's around the time that I got interested in ghost hunting. The ghost hunting TV shows were getting really popular, and experiences like that, which, maybe in any other house I would say it and people say you're crazy, I never heard of such a thing. But in this house, when you say something like that, more than likely someone's going to say, oh, yeah, that happened to you too. So that's when I started to go into cemeteries, go into abandoned places, and I started to go ghost hunting. Because a black figure visited me, and I had to explain why. I had to explain how. I had to find out, who are these things? Why are they visiting? And can I communicate with them? And not always be at their whim when I'm laying down trying to sleep and they're opening up the door, interrupting me. So that shadow you see around the house, it may not be a shadow. Who knows? It may be the same shadow figure that I seen open the door and wake me up that night.